on your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
On November 13th, Felix was asked to remove himself from his place of residence.
Oh.
That request came from his wife.
He's done.
Deep down, he knew she was right, but he also knew that someday he would return to her.
Mistake.
With nowhere else to go, he appeared at the home of his friend Oscar Madison.
Mistake number 2.
Several years earlier, Madison's wife had thrown him out, requesting that he never return. Can two divorced men share an apartment without driving each other crazy?
No. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you on a, I don't mind it. I'm laughing because it's a summer-like day in December, almost summer-like. I don't know. I'm only wearing the long sleeve, sweatshirt because we're broadcasting live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. That's the only reason. It's a little bit nippy in here. We're thinking of leasing out some of the space behind the scenes for meat companies to hang big carcasses on hooks. It's cold in here. Outside it's kind of warm. If you start doing something athletic or labor intensive, you will perspire. It's kind of crazy. Other folks cranking up the snow blower, scraping ice and snow off their windshield. We've got tropic-like temperatures. It makes sense. That subtropic zone, it kind of swoops up and kind of hits the Gulf Coast, little bit of New Orleans, the North Shore included. Not too much farther than that. Little bit of kind of over to Cajun country and then kind of, fizzles out. We're on like the northern tip of the subtropic zone. So yeah, December, we can get this kind of weather. It could be 45 outside too. It could be 30. Not as often as we're going to get this. I don't know. This is pretty extreme. I'd say this is the flip side of it being 45, about the same percentage chance. 40. Something like that. I think somewhere in the, 55 to 70 range would be our normal temperatures. So we're way above that. Anyway, it's not all bad. It's just weird for December. It's weird as we roll into holiday season. Hey, guys, I talk about it a lot this time of year because it's almost a public service. What am I going to get her? Is she going to like it? I know it's a dilemma. A lot of you stress out about this each and every year. Christmas, holiday, anniversary, each and every year, about 3-4 times a year, maybe more. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, just stressed out. What am I going to get her? Is she going to like it? Or worse, you settle into this rut that she doesn't like. Oh, it's no problem. We always, that's a bad maneuver. We always, a lot of the time, they're not going to tell us, nah, I'm tired of this. Because you seem content or we seem content. No, what are you going to get her and is she going to like it? Get her a day of relaxation, a full-blown day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa experience, the Woodhouse Day Spa. And you want to take it up another level? Get with one of your buddies where the wives are best friends, the girlfriends are best friends. Tell your buddy, do the same thing. They'll go together. It'll be a day of relaxation for both of them together. They'll love it. Getting pedicures, manicures, facials, massages, all together. All the stuff in between. A full-blown day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa. Guys, that's what she wants, and she's going to love it. What do I get her? Is she going to like it? Get her a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Is she going to like it? She's going to love it. It's what she wants. Want to go up another level? Go to one of the 4 area locations. Let someone, right there behind the counter help you in that foyer lobby area in the front. Lots of candles, moisturizers, bath salts, slippers, robes, things you heat up to put her on the neck and head and all that kind of stuff, just things that take care of her. They'll get a little bag with the rope handles and the tissue paper and the ribbon and load those candles and bath salts and moisturizers and stuff in that bag, and the gift card with the full-blown day of relaxation, and you're done. She's going to love it. Loves the gift, think it's thoughtful. Woodhouse Day Spa, 4 area locations for you to go get that bag full of goodies for her. They're on Canal Street at Carrollton in Mid-City. That's convenient for a lot of folks. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, Transcontinental at West Esplanade. They're on the North Shore, I-10 at Gauze in Slidell. They're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. And coming early next year, not too far away, their Mandeville location, a 5th area location, Mandeville, Cheyenne Country. And those gift cards you get right now will be good for the Mandeville location of the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.WoodhouseSpas, that's their website. You can go to it right now, take a little tour, NOLA.WoodhouseSpas.com, or even print your own gift certificates, any denomination, online, including that full-blown day of relaxation I was talking about. You can do all that online, NOLA.WoodhouseSpas.com, but I recommend going to one of those 4 locations to get the bag of goodies. I've got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Stick around for that. No, guys, that's a no-brainer. Problem solved. It's what she wants. Could be your A gift, a B gift, something that goes with the main gift, a C gift if you're a big spender. Take care of her. Get her what she wants this holiday season. The Woodhouse Day Spa. Problem solved. What do I get her? Is she going to like it? Problem solved. It is a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Wide open Wednesday. I love wide open Wednesday. You're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss. I hate bad news. I don't want to overlook these things because they're important. No, it's sad. 3 members of Southern University's marching band up on the bluff in Baton Rouge, 3 members of Southern's marching band have passed away, killed in a car crash on I-49 last night around 7 p.m., not late night. A little bit north of Natchitoches, up I-49. 19-year-old Tyran Williams, he's from Dallas. Also, 21-year-old Dylan Young of Dallas, and 19-year-old Broderick Moore of Cedar Hill, Texas. All band members, all Southern University students in Baton Rouge, playing for the Human Jukebox, dying in a car crash. Now, I go play English Turn Golf and Country Club every now and then. You go to the West Bank, you go down General de Gaulle, you go to the end past Woodland, you go over that Woodland Bridge where you either go towards English Turn or you can go towards Bell Chase. It's, a long bridge, probably from the base of the bridge to the other side. I'd say at least a half mile. There are a lot of people that live at English Turn, that live in Plaquemine, that live right there in Algiers, that go across that bridge to exercise. But there is no railing or concrete barrier that separates the road traffic from really just a large shoulder where people tend to work out. I've gone up and down that bridge several times. I've done it early morning, going to catch an early tea time where the sun's just coming up, where there's fog on the bridge. And I've often thought, man, it's kind of dangerous. I wouldn't want to jog or run or walk up and down the bridge. The whole time I'd be stressed out. Running or riding a bike, exercising can be hard enough. Going up and down a bridge like that can be very hard. and then you're going to be kind of thinking you're nervous about possibly getting hit by a vehicle. What happened to this Plaquemine Parish English teacher, I think retired, Carol Roberts, who was with a friend, and they often work out early in the morning, like I was saying. She was apparently hit, and the impact of the car actually threw her into the rail, over the railing, off the bridge, where she was pronounced dead when paramedics found her body on the ground. Just a terrible story. Sorry to start the program off that way, but that's one thing every day. I look at a lot of sources. I look at a lot of different things. There's probably dozens and dozens, maybe north of 100 news type stories that I see. A lot of them are minor, insignificant, irrelevant. They're not jumping out. These jumped out. These are the ones that jumped out.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore in Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Mercedes, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
You can say anything you please about me, but don't say anything bad about Blue Boy.
Down, Blue Boy. Good buddy. It's pretty accurate all around. Oh, Blue Boy. And I say it O-L-E, not O-L-D. He's Blue Boy. Still like a little puppy. 19-year-old basset hound. Getting the job done each and every day, huh, Blue Boy? Could be watching the program right now or maybe taking a nap. And then there's 10-year-old Tolly, the opposite of Blue Boy. If Blue Boy wants to smoke a little cigar and drink a beer, Tolly is ready to run. He's like looking for a triathlon or something. An Australian shepherd. Wants to herd, wants a job, ready to work. Blue Boy, retirement, kicking back in the boat, chilling. Anyway, I think that's why Blue Boy is around at 19. Totally the Australian shepherd, keeping him moving, keeping him active. I mean, a lot of that's true. I go play golf with a bunch of guys that shoot 95. I probably have a pretty mediocre day. All three guys I'm playing with are missing. We go to the tee. One of them's hitting a bad drive, barely getting off the tee, looping it in the woods, putting it in the water. Next shot to the green. One of them's putting it in the trap. One of them's on the green. One of them's barely hitting the ball, almost whiffed it. If I'm playing with guys like that all the time, I'm not going to shoot well. If I'm playing with guys that 72, 73, 74, they're just hitting great shot after shot and over and making putts and not many mistakes, then I'm probably going to be a little more focused and play better. You kind of, who you hang out with, who your friends are, kind of defines you, right? Boy, yesterday we had on Rafael Goyeneche from the Metropolitan Crime Commission because there's so many things going on right now in the city as we head to the end of the year. NOPD Chief Sean Ferguson to retire in a few weeks. The newly voted on ordinance in the city of New Orleans, all mayoral appointees like Department of Public Works or Sewage and Water Board, who's going to head up the fire department, police chief, all these appointees that the mayor just puts in whoever the mayor chooses. Now, the city council, 4 of 7 city council members have to approve those appointees. The days of Cedric Grant hopefully are gone or done. Poor Cedric Grant. He's like John Ilario, kind of a poster boy for abuse on this program, but earned abuse. I'm not going over the top. It's just, that's who they are. It's the opposite. I'm the only one banging the gong. John Ilario has a building on the West Bank named after his father. Who's that? What did he do again? Oh, yeah, just an ordinary nobody. Ridiculous. And then a hall at the legislature named after him. Why don't you name the other side of the hall Edwin Edwards? I mean, it's unbelievable. Just such low standards we have in the state. A do-nothing legislator that set up his friends and his family exclusively. Works at the Yugo plant, 40, 50 years as a Louisiana legislator. That you're hanging your hat on that? Good luck. Good luck. No, just sometimes that's going to be your poster boy for that kind of thing. Sorry. So the ordinance kicks in on January 1st where these Cedric Grant type people, these appointed, anointed jokers, these clowns, they maybe don't get so easily appointed or anointed. The council has to approve it. 4 of 7, I guess, and sometimes the council will be in the mayor's pocket and vice versa. So I guess we'll have that problem in the future, but at least it's another layer. And I think a necessary layer, not like added bureaucracy, but more like you can't just appoint or anoint these types of jokers. It's got to be legitimate people. Like, I think Ghassan Corban, the Sewage and Water Board director for Milwaukee, he would have got a 7-0 vote from the city council. That was just a fair, objective, righteous choice by the mayor, a good selection. I think, some other folks, maybe not so much. Like if she tries to make Jeanette Williams the new chief of police. You know what sucks for Jeanette Williams? She might be the person. She might be good enough for the job. But it's almost like it's wrecked, it's ruined because she's not part of a national search and look everywhere. We'll get into that in a minute. But yesterday was a huge day. So much going on with all of this. Will the mayor Anoint appoint somebody and slip it in this month before this January 1st ordinance officially legally goes into effect? Will she follow best practices and community influence? The public has voted. Why are you trying to slip this in like you know better? Let's get a national search going. It's going to be a few months until there's a permanent chief. Maybe Jeanette Williams can be the interim chief and apply for the full-time gig with all the other folks that we look at from around the country. Brightest and best, Richard Pennington. Remember him? He came from D.C., Washington, D.C. police. So all that going on, Raphael Goyeneche and I are going through all of this for like 30 minutes yesterday. By the way, you can always check out yesterday's program, today's program, last week, last month, all our stuff, YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. I love our YouTube channel. Check it out. We're fledgling. We need you to subscribe. We need you to spread the word about our YouTube channel. Click to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Share the link with a friend or buddy. You want to know what else was huge besides all this big time obvious stuff that everybody's reporting on? Raphael Goyeneche threw out, just sort of put it in there. He's talking about the police force and it hurting. 158 cops in 11 months. 158 NOPD officers leaving the force in the last 11 months in 2022 alone. I mean, the last few years, it has been a flat-out hemorrhage during coronavirus crisis. Last 2 or 3 years, it's like 70, 80, 90 cops a year. And then you're getting a kind of a small recruiting class of maybe a dozen or 15. So it's like a net loss of, 75, 80 cops a year the last few years. Now it's 158 in the last 11 months. Like 15% of all NOPD officers. And that number's a little misleading. It's very conservative, not by math, but by experience. It ain't a bunch of rookie and first, second year cops going, I thought I wanted to be an NOPD officer. This is too much for me. I'm going to leave. These are cops in their super prime, 7 years in, 9 years in, 11 years in, 14 years in, 15 years in, 18 years in. Like, they know it. They're experienced. They know what works. They know what to ignore. They know where to get results. They know where you're wasting your time. They know the city. They know the perpetrators. These are experienced, seasoned NOPD. Been at it for years. They're walking. 158 of them mostly are walking. That type. And then you bring it in 15 or so in the recruiting class. They're all green first-year cops that know nothing. Learning on the job, like the present sheriff, Sheriff Hudson, learning on the job. We don't have time for that in New Orleans. They don't have time for that in cities that are well-run to elect such a high-level person like Susan Hudson, and it's learning on the job. So, no, the recruits, that's great. Yeah, recruits are part of the natural thing. Some are really ready to go. It's like the draft with the Saints. Sometimes you get results right away. Some are a bust. Some it takes a few years to have them slip in and find their way. But they're green. They're inexperienced. You lose 158 cops in 11 months. That is a huge story that Raphael Goyeneche and the Metropolitan Crime Commission were talking about yesterday on the program. 158 NOPD gone so far this year in 11 months. That is not sustainable. Those are basically double the numbers of the last 2 years. That's like the last 2 years combined. 300 cops or so in the last 3 years. 300 plus cops gone from the NOPD in the last 3 years, averaging like north of 100 gone a year. Not sustainable. Not sustainable. Crazy. Hey, the NOLA coalition wants Mayor Cantrell, quote, critical Cantrell conducts a national search for an NOPD chief. What is the mayor going to do? Who knows? She could easily anoint Johnette Williams or someone else, and no offense to Johnette Williams or someone else she has in mind, to try to slip it in before January 1st and this ordinance where the council has to approve these appointees. I told you, if you pressed me one way or another, would we see another high, appointee maybe retire? Maybe even two in the next few weeks so the mayor can slip in somebody in those spots. Who knows? Wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. No, hopefully the mayor actually has a conscience, feels some pressure. I mean, we're talking about Junket Cantrell with the $18,000 first-class airline tickets. We're talking about the free meals on the city at high-end restaurants that she normally would never go to on her own dime. And then, of course, the egregious Pontalba apartment situation. No, to expect the mayor to do the right thing. Yeah, all we can do is hope, because the livelihood of the city's at stake. I mean, folks are flocking out of the city. Crime's one of the big reasons. This next NOPD chief, the right choice has to be made.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program, bringing the goods to you each and every afternoon. I got a great compliment the other day from a buddy of mine on the golf course. He's not from here. We kind of met a few years back. He kind of knew of the show before we met. He was a fan of the show, still is today. We've become friends. He's like, dude, you got to be really misunderstood. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I think people sometimes think you're such a, and, use sort of a derogatory word like a jerk, And he goes, and it's just such the opposite. You're just such a nice guy. I forgot what I did. Went and found a ball for him in the woods, or told him some advice on something about his kid or something like that. He's just like, you're such a good guy, nice guy, honest guy, hardworking guy, all that. And I just laughed. I smiled. Man, you're making my day, dude. Thanks. Wish you were female, all that kind of stuff. Just joking. Hit some good shots after that. He fired me up. No, and I often think about that because I'm not too much different on the radio as I am in real life. And I think when I say that, it's like ideology, how I think I don't pretend I'm not more liberal or more conservative or more this or that on radio or TV than I am in real life. But I have a job to do. Got to keep the show moving, I guess, kind of play the traffic cop role. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of, I figure I'm like a New Orleans Southern boy to begin with. So being nice and well-mannered and thank you and yes, sir, yes, ma'am, please is a natural. So then I'm doing talk radio, talk television, sort of the, northerner approach. Just say, thanks a lot, let's move on. Kind of that attitude you kind of have to have. And maybe like it's not like less patience than in real life, but the choice to move on. So you gotta, I don't know. Anyway, I just liked hearing that. I think that's a pretty good way that describes me. At least that's what I try to be now. There's what I think I am. There's what people think I am. And there's what I really am. And I'm not looking for calls to say, Corey, you are a good guy. It was just nice to hear. And that's what I try to be. That's what I try to do on the program. The goal, the objective, everything we're trying to do every day is just inform, entertain, maybe have a laugh or two. Let New Orleans folks, Louisiana folks know about the great things we have, and also not to bury your head in the sand. We have extreme times going on in New Orleans, Louisiana, the country, extreme left and right. You get folks pushing these narratives on both sides, like what they want to believe, what they hope is true, ignoring facts. We do kind of the opposite. We bring the good, the bad, and the ugly, hopefully more good than bad and ugly.
but we bring it all every day. Try to stick to the facts. When we're throwing in opinions, hopefully it's fact-based and logical and makes sense, and it's some experience and history behind it, not just winging it. Fausto Picardo, the former second in command of the NYPD that's been sort of embedded with the NOPD since September, hired as a consultant. Apparently, the city's keeping him on for another year, extending his contract for another year. It was going to be 6 months, maybe February or March, around Mardi Gras. That would be it. Now it's going, I guess, through at least the end of next year, till at least next December, maybe into 2024. Going to assist and help the next chief, whoever the next chief is. Now, that's interesting. That's really interesting, because if you're doing a nationwide search and you're going to go get the best and the brightest, like a Fausto Picardo type, that big, you go and get a Drew Brees. Do you want, you go and get Sean Payton. Do you want, some other, head coach there as well? Some other ego and, someone that's used to calling the shots and their way is the way, and let's be on agreement with what I'm thinking, because these are time-tested, best practices type of thing? Is some big-time cop like a Richard Pennington type, where I'm coming in to run my show? Does he want Fausto Picardo there for like a year? Or is that for like a Jeanette Williams, the deputy superintendent, who's going to come take over this job? And like Chief Ferguson, or anyone, could have been Harrison before Ferguson, if things were how they are today. You got the consent decree, you got Picardo here, you got this Linder group. Would you be extending the contract of Fausto Picardo if you were doing a national search and bringing in the best and the brightest? Or does this lead to more of Deputy Superintendent Jeanette Williams is going to be named chief? That's where I would lean. I mean, if I had to guess, that's where I would go. And it sucks being Jeanette Williams, because this is nothing to disparage her. It's not about her. It's got to do a nationwide search. This isn't Mike Ditka with the draft. Hey, coach, where do you think Danny Werfel will be drafted? I guarantee he'll go in the first 4 rounds. Wow, that's interesting. Saints had the 99th pick. No, he said, I guarantee he'll go in the top 100 picks. And the Saints' 4th round pick was like 99th overall. So Ditka knew already if Werfel's by 99, he's going to draft him. Like, not best on board available. Hey, coach, we got a guy ranked 10th overall in the draft. We have Werfel ranked 25th. You're still picking him because he's there at 99? It's just insane. I talked about the Louisiana State Police. Just typical Louisiana nonsense. Political crap that holds us back. Their superintendent can only be hired from within. Former NOPD chief Ronald Surpass, he not only was the Nashville chief of police, he was Washington State Police, like the state troopers of Washington State. He was the head of those guys. So they don't have a rule in Washington State. We only can hire the state trooper superintendent from within the force. It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. It's typical Louisiana BS politics. Well, we're going to go outside the country to hire somebody. We got somebody. Well, we don't have the best and brightest here. Maybe not at this time for this position. No. The best and brightest we had here took the job in Pittsburgh and isn't leaving that. I mean, it's just silly. There's so many variables that apply here. But this one large blanket, this all-encompassing thing, only can hire from within the state troopers is the law in Louisiana. You could have the super cop, greatest cop ever, Picardo, Ronald Surpass. Hey, I want to come be the superintendent of the Louisiana State Police. Got a proven track record in 3 different states doing it. I'm ready to help Louisiana. Sorry, you're not a state trooper already in Louisiana. You're not eligible for the job. It's mind-blowing. How many state troopers are there? Okay, that's the number of human beings on planet Earth eligible for that superintendent job. That's just ridiculous. The NOPD not hogtied, not strapped down, not tied down to that. But the mayor may go with that kind of mentality. No, a lot of reports, Deputy Superintendent Jeanette Williams to become NOPD chief, first female NOPD chief. The NOLA coalition joining the New Orleans City Council. It's critical. Mayor Cantrell conducts a national search for the next chief of police for New Orleans. Best practices, community influence. The city's spoken 60+%. It's not even close. 2 out of 3 voters practically in New Orleans want the city council to approve the mayor's appointees. This isn't like to spite the mayor. Jefferson Parish, the president comes up with the appointees for department heads, and the council in Jefferson approves them. That's most cities and municipalities in the United States. Are there some that don't do it? Yes, but most do. So it's not uncommon practice. It's not to attack the mayor. I mean, if I would argue anything, just forget about LaToya the Destroyer. The executive branch of government in New Orleans has too much power to begin with. So having the council have a say, the mayor still gets to name the appointee. The council just gets to approve that appointee. I'm glad you're checking me out. You might be able to check me out at Katie's. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? They'll put me on and put the volume up at Katie's. Why aren't you at Katie's in Mid-City right now? It's as New Orleans as it gets. Getting ready for dinner, but they go all day long, so folks have been dining indoor and outside with this weather at Katie's, outdoor dining at Katie's, and then just New Orleans characters flowing in there as their shift ends. It is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, Katie's in Mid-City. And don't forget Bienvenue in Harahan. You folks in Harahan, River Ridge, Old Jefferson, Elmwood, bringing a little of that Mid-Cities, Katie's, New Orleans flavor to the curve, the bend in the road, Hickory Avenue. Bienvenue is the Katie's of Harahan. Yeah, Katie's in Mid-City. Corey Johnson with you. Wide open Wednesday. So much to discuss. Sean Ferguson, his press conference this morning, retiring, the mayor's State of the City address. Yikes. 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 158 cops in the NOPD. 158 are gone in the first 11 months of this year alone. Not sustainable. Don't move.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30. And they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal: everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good, and we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. I love wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. A sad day. 3 members of Southern's marching band in Baton Rouge have died in I-10 crash last night. All 3 members are from Texas, part of the Human Jukebox, one of the best marching bands in the world. Former Plaquemine Parish English teacher Carol Roberts, who often walks over that Woodland Bridge at the end of General de Gaulle, connecting General de Gaulle by Woodland to Belle Chase, English Turn area over the Intracoastal Waterway. I see a lot of folks exercising on that bridge. I've often thought it's dangerous because cars are traveling pretty fast. There's fog in the morning. The bridge twists and bends. It is like a corkscrew. It's like a piece of, spaghetti, some type of piece of pasta, a noodle. It's zigzags around. It's got a sharp curve at the end. It just seems kind of dangerous. There's no protective wall. She was not only hit by the car, but flung over the side of the bridge, tragically dying. Sean Ferguson this morning, press conference, talked about family and health, retiring, talked to the mayor about this over a month ago, or last month before Thanksgiving, so a few weeks ago. Mayor Cantrell's State of the City address. Yuck. Live from the Pontalba apartment via Zoom. A big day yesterday. Sean Ferguson to retire hit the news cycle, the news circuit, We talked about it. Raphael Goyeneche joined us on the program. No, the new city ordinance where the city council approves the mayor's appointees goes into effect January 1st. The mayor can slip in who she wants as police chief with no city council approval before then. The city council obviously is imploring her to go with what the citizens want. The citizens voted. 2 out of 3, 60+% want council approval on your selections. You still get to make the pick, but it's got to be a righteous pick. It can't be some jack clown like, Cedric Grant, some anointed, appointed type. It's got to be someone legitimate. I mean, that's what you hope this extra layer of the council having to approve it is all about. So it's not these appointed, anointed hacks we get. And the mayor, I guess, has some of those. The mayor is look at Ghassan Korban with the Sewage and Water Board. But here's the great part. I think the council would have voted him in 7-0. They would have been like, great call. Look at his resume. This guy actually is not politically connected. He's Lebanese. He's not black. He's not white. He's an Arab. It's like no connection to the city, nothing political about him. Just this is what he does. It's pretty refreshing instead of some Cedric Grant type, like learn on the fly. You run the Sewage and Water Board, even though you know nothing about it. It's a joke. What was Mitch Landrieu thinking about? Playing politics and tightening up, somebody he had to tighten up. Cedric Grant. Pathetic. Cedric Grant makes $180 a year in retirement. That's $180,000. Wouldn't you like to have a BS job with the city where you get paid well, do absolutely nothing, and do that for a lot of your adult life and pretend that you work? Pretend that you work. And then at the end of it all, you get $180,000. I mean, we can laugh about it. Cedric Grant go, whatever, I won, whatever. When Cedric Grant lays his head on his pillow tonight, if he's listening, and his wife's asleep or girlfriend or mistress or whatever, and he's laying his head on his pillow, Cedric Grant, he knows in his heart, Corey's right. All I've done is freeload. I've just been an appointed, anointed political hack, a joker. And I've really not worked or earned anything. I've not given anything back. All I've done is take. And I continue to take with this pension. And no, I'm not going to go give it all to charity tomorrow, but that guy Johnson on the radio, on TV is right on the money. If you're laying in bed tonight, Cedric, it's you and your maker, and you're thinking about that, I'm 110% right. It's not even close. It's not even close. So no, that extra layer is a good thing. This is the worry. A lot of folks, there's multiple outlets. Jeanette Williams, deputy superintendent, female, black. She's the mayor's choice for superintendent. Sean Ferguson out. Jeanette Williams put in, no city council approval. Permanent chief. There's reports that the city has extended Fausto Picardo's deal, the deputy chief from New York, for another year to assist with the new chief. Could you see, I don't know, you name the coach. Is Sean Kelly going to go to LSU if they hired Nick Saban too? It's like, I'm the head of the football program. I'm the head coach. I don't need another head coach assisting and helping me. I've been here a long time. I'm Brian Kelly. I'm 61. Saban may be 71 and the all-time greatest, but I don't need him looking over my shoulder. I can run the program by myself. So if you're doing a national search and you're going to get the best and the brightest, do they want to come here when they want to have autonomy and run the show themselves and have Fausto Picardo there for another year influencing things? No, it just seems like all roads lead to Jeanette Williams. All road leads to the mayor circumventing the council approval and anointing somebody. This is junk at Cantrell. Upgraded airline flights, free meals on the city's dime at high-end restaurants, the Pontalba apartment. Need I say more? Going with best practices, community influence, please. It's what Latoya, the Destroyer, Cantrell wants. And that's all there is to it. 5 o'clock powwow next. 93.9, 107.9 FM, New Orleans.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
Our Brain Restoration Plus Detox Treatment is an intravenous nutritional supplement that restores the brain's chemical imbalances. Our patients detox with minimal withdrawal symptoms. It also blocks the craving, which is unbelievable and which is why most people say they have a hard time believing, but it restores neuron function. Many treatment programs use one drug to get you off of another drug. At Springfield, we treat the problem. Addiction is first a brain disease. If you or a loved one suffer from substance abuse, please just give us a call.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future. At the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
I remember as a child in the 70s when this Hawaii Five-0 program would come on CBS. I was pretty fired up. It's like eating sugar or candy as a child. Eyes glued to the TV. The video montage was incredible. The planes, the islands, the girls dancing, zooming in on the balconies, turning of, the actors. When the shot would zoom in on them, they turn their head, jerk around real quick. The song. It's got to go down as one of the greatest of all times. The theme and the video montage, the opening of Hawaii Five-0 from the 70s. Book 'em, Dano. Yeah, you, right? 5 o'clock power hour on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. 5 o'clock power hour on this wide open Wednesday, brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. And Latrim is hiring. You East Bankers and West Bankers, Latrim's hiring on their over 80-acre campus with over 1,000 employees in Elmwood. Hey, you North Shore folks, Latrim's hiring at their Hammond facility, right off I-12. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. 5 o'clock power hour brought to you by Latrim. It is a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. A lot to discuss. Some sad news. 3 members of the Southern University marching band, the Human Jukebox, have died in a car crash on I-49 a little north of Natchitoches last night about 7 p.m. I don't know if that was coming back to Southern or going towards Dallas. All 3 members were from Texas. Just a painfully sad story. The 3 members are Dylan Young, Tyron Williams, and Brody Moore. They were on their way to Texas for Christmas break, apparently. That's the story. That's sickening. That's sickening. 3 Texas kids from Dallas and outside of Dallas. Southern band members. Southern University students on the Bluff up in North Baton Rouge. Part of the Human Jukebox. All 3 have died in a car crash around 7 o'clock last night, north of Natchitoches, heading towards Shreveport, maybe 4 hours from home. Nauseating. This one's right up there. I've been on this bridge, that Woodland Bridge that connects sort of General de Gaulle Woodland area right there over the Intracoastal Waterway to Belle Chase English Turn area. It snakes. The bridge curves all over the place. You start going straight, then you hook a big right to go up the bridge, then you hook this huge left, almost a circle coming down the opposite way coming down. It's insane. It gets very foggy, and you get the Intracoastal Waterway fog in the woods of Plaquemine Parish and that part of New Orleans, Algiers, and that can be created a lot. You get the sun coming out of the, east, beelining over that just blocks sight on that bridge. Folks early in the morning that have gone the opposite commute from the East Bank to the West Bank this time of year, The sun can be blinding up. You're like, why is there traffic going to the West Bank up the Crescent City connection? Because no one can see. The sun's that blinding. It's just in your eyes. And then you get past and the road opens up like there's no one on the bridge. Same thing on that Woodland Bridge. The key point in the morning when the sun's coming up, apparently this Mustang hit Carol Roberts, this former Plaquemine Parish teacher in Belle Chase, English teacher. Hit her, flung her into the railing. She flew over the railing off the bridge and died. Terrible. The driver of the Mustang pulled over and called 911, so it wasn't a hit and run. Sean Ferguson, NOPD chief, officially, I shouldn't say officially, he steps down in a few weeks officially, but had a press conference this morning to discuss. The big story is Mayor Latoya the Destroyer Cantrell, who held her State of the City address and would not allow any questions or the media to attend certain parts of it. Just crazy. No questions. It just, all of this doesn't add up to anything good. You know, that today, having a State of the City address with no media participation. Think about that. No media members asking the mayor any questions during or after her State of the City address. Yesterday, her putting out a statement on Sean Ferguson retiring as police chief, and it was all about Ferguson. The last paragraph wasn't, now we put our focus towards a nationwide search, and we will scour this country for the best and bright. None of that. Just about Ferguson. That's another thing that you're like itching your head going, wait, this is all adding up to go in the wrong direction. What's the wrong direction? January 1st is when that city ordinance goes into effect that was passed by voters. About every 2 out of 3 New Orleanians that voted want the city council to approve the mayor's appointees. The mayor still gets to come up with the appointee, not the council. The council has zero to do with the mayor's selection of her appointees, except approving those members. But the mayor gets to select them, no one else but the mayor. I think it's just an extra safeguard where the appointed, anointed Cedric Grant political hack clown doesn't get a gig like Mitch Landrieu putting him in to run the sewage and water board. Before that, Mark Morial had him running parks and parkways, whatever he was doing. Just insane. Appointed, anointed political hack clown, a joker. Not, doesn't know, a master of nothing but knowledgeable about a law, none of that. A master of nothing and knows nothing about anything. Blank resume. It's like John Ilario as a politician, 30, 40 years in politics and just a blank resume, nothing but for friends and family and himself, nothing for us. No, that was Cedric Grant. So that extra layer, the council approving those mayor appointees, the mayor still makes the selection. That's just an extra safeguard where you don't get appointed, anointed hack clowns like Cedric Grant. He probably wouldn't have got approved. The mayor making a righteous choice. This mayor, Latoya the Destroyer Cantrell, Ghassan Corban, to run the sewage and water board, 30 years with Milwaukee in public service. He would get approved by the council. They'd be like, that's a righteous choice. You actually got the best and brightest from around the country. The mayor needs to apply that sewage and water board logic to this police chief. But all roads are pointing to Jeanette Williams, the deputy superintendent, getting appointed, anointed by the mayor. And what sucks for Jeanette Williams, she might be the perfect person for the gig, but she should throw her resume, her name in the hat with all the folks from the national search. Here's more that looks like it's going to Jeanette Williams, if I haven't thrown out enough. Fausto Picardo, the former deputy chief in New York City that the city hired to consult and, with the Linder Group to help the city and fix this crime problem. His gig was for 6 months, September through like Mardi Gras, February. Now it got extended another year, and they're saying to help the new chief. I mean, if you're scouring the country and bringing in the best and the brightest, I mean, Fausto Picardo could be around for a month or two in the transition, but the new chief, it's his show. He's the coach. He's running his system, his plays. Doesn't need another coach there influencing that. This isn't some green chief you're bringing in. It'd be an experienced chief from a nationwide search. But an appointed, anointed Jeanette Williams, no offense to her, she would be green. She'd be learning on the job. It would be new to her, pointed from within, not someone who's already been chief or, running something like that at that level. So Fausto Picardo, an extra year extended. The mayor's press release yesterday on Ferguson retire, nothing about a national search or our next move is to find the next best chief. Nothing on that. All on Ferguson. The mayor's state of the city answering no questions from the media. Nothing from the media. All of this adds up to appointed, anointed Jeanette Williams as chief. The NOLA Coalition, the city voters. We can go on and on. Rafael Goyeneche, Metropolitan Crime Commission, the city council. Let's go with best practices, community influence. Let's make it a righteous call. Hey, speaking of a righteous call, Fury's Restaurant in Metairie open till 9 p.m. Gumbo, turtle soup, onion rings, speckled trout, flounder, snapper. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie is open till 9 p.m. tonight.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
As New Orleans as a roast beef po' boy.
Crab meat po' boy, duck po' boy.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground in Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Po' boy, roast beef po' boy, alligator po' boy.
Boy, a good hot roast beef po' boy is tough to beat. Tough to beat. Corey Johnson back at you on a Wednesday, wide open Wednesday, 5 o'clock power hour. Do you know Rouse's Markets open up at the latest, all 60-plus Rouse's, 7 a.m. Some even open up at 6 or 6:30. But the latest, any of the 60-plus Rouse's will open 7 a.m. The earliest, any of the 60-plus Rouse's locations will close 10 p.m. Some are even open till 11 or midnight. No, they work for you. It's about convenience. That's why Rouse's is New Orleans and South Louisiana's grocery, now expanding into southern Mississippi and southern Alabama. Best quality, they mean it. Best price, they mean it. Best selection, they mean it. And it's hard to beat Rouse's selection. Local, regional, national, international stuff. And the Rouse's branded, the Rouse's labeled stuff is ridiculously hard to beat. Tastes like home. Rouse's Markets. There's one near you. Rouse's Markets. No, I love Rouse's. That's as New Orleans, as South Louisiana as it gets. I'll go down to the beach like in South Alabama, right down by Orange Beach, Ono Island, Gulf Shores. You're like at the end of the road, right on the corner, the main drag of Rouse's. You go in there, they got crawfish pots, and it's just fantastic. Getting that New Orleans flavor when you're down there in southern Alabama. There's 6 Rouse's in Mobile. It's Mobile's grocery store, New Orleans' grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. You know, yesterday when we were talking with Rafael Goyeneche about the breaking news, Rafael Goyeneche, of course, with the Metropolitan Crime Commission. You can check him out at metrocrime.org. When we were discussing Sean Ferguson to retire at the end of the month and the January 1st date of the ordinance kicking in, how the mayor could anoint someone right now. Maybe it's Jeanette Williams, all this different stuff. Talking about a whole lot of different things. Rafael, throughout the first 11 months of the year up till the end of November, 11 months, 158 NOPD officers have left the force. 158. I mean, do the math. That's like one every other day. Like every 48 hours, the NOPD loses an officer. And these aren't like first and second year guys like rookies. I made a bad decision. These are guys like year 5, year 7, year 10, year 12, year 15, year 18, in their prime of their prime. Experienced, seasoned New Orleans veteran cops that know the city, what to deal with, what to ignore, where they can go, and they know they're going to be effective, what areas they just are wasting their time in, don't need their help necessarily. I mean, these are experienced cops. It's 15% of the force, 158 cops. Every other day, on average, the NOPD loses a cop. Every other day so far this year, every 48 hours, an NOPD officer leaves the force. That's just not sustainable. The last 3 years, it averages over 100 a year leaving the NOPD. Over 100. If the NOPD regained 50 cops, 50 new cops a year for the next 2 years, we'd be blown away. We'd be like, man, 50 new cops coming in from around the country, around the region. I'm not talking new recruits, 50 seasoned veterans. Half the number that they're losing, we'd all be so ecstatic and happy as can be. These numbers are mind-blowing. 15% of NOPD officers have left the force this year. Every other day, a cop leaves on average in 2022. 158 in the first 11 months. Not sustainable. Sadly, that was one of the big stories from yesterday that local media will start picking up on in the next few days. I'm talking about it. I've posted it on my Twitter. It'll start gaining momentum elsewhere, and it'll be in the Times pick tomorrow, just casually mentioned, or 46826. They'll be talking about it. The numbers will only grow from the rest of the month. It'll be north of 160, might be around 170, 175 by the time it's all done. Insane. Crazy. And then all roads lead to the mayor anointing Deputy Superintendent Jeanette Williams. Travers Mackle yesterday approaching Jeanette Williams outside of one of the precincts. And, hey, Jeanette, like trying to get the interview. They obviously know each other, like have talked a lot over extended periods of time. Jeanette knows Travers. Travers knows Jeanette. Calling her by first name to get the interview going. She ignores him getting out the vehicle. Like the fix is in. Hey, Travers, how you doing? I can't speak about that right now. I don't have any comment on that. How you doing, man? Just, but it isn't like it isn't, something out of left field or what are you doing here? It's something that hit home. She just ignored him. Check with my higher ups, something like that. So that wasn't a good sign. The mayor yesterday with her release on Sean Ferguson retiring, all on Sean Ferguson. Nothing like the last paragraph. Now we turn our attention to finding the next chief of the city. I mean, think about what any other mayor would be saying. We're going to have a national search. We're going to find the best and the brightest, whatever. Or at least now we turn our attention to finding the next chief. None of that mentioned. None of it. All on Sean Ferguson. Now the State of the City address, a bunch of mayor flunkies there clapping and cheering what she's saying. What an accident. Macron came to New Orleans. I made that happen. The mayor is taking the credit for Macron coming to New Orleans. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Mayor had zero to do with that. Nothing. Her trip to the French Riviera did nothing to get Macron coming here. And she has a bunch of flunkies clapping, and the media not allowed to ask any questions today. I mean, it's insane. Another thing that leads to the mayor is going to anoint Jeanette Williams or someone else as police chief. And you want more? Fausto Picardo, the former second in charge of the NYPD, New York's police, brought in September, has been embedded with the cops since September. It's a 6-month contract along with the Linder Group. As far as we know, the Linder Group will be gone by like February. Picardo has been signed on for another year. Maybe Linder Group gets signed on for another year too. The point is, if Picardo is signed on for another year and specifically to assist the next chief, if you're doing a nationwide search, you're bringing in the best and the brightest. Do they want Fausto Picardo assisting them? They probably wouldn't mind if he was hired by the city. He had another month or two in. He'll help with the transition, but the next chief's like, I'm the chief. I know how to do this. You did a nationwide search. I'm the best and the brightest available. It's my system that's going to be implemented. It's my system that's going to be put into play. Not that Fausto Picardo assisting me. I don't need Fausto Picardo. I am Fausto Picardo. I'm Drew Brees. I don't need Aaron Rodgers helping me with getting my game plan going. I know how to do this. I'm a savvy veteran cop. No, Fausto Picardo's contract extended. That leads to more of like, Jeanette Williams has never been chief. She's going to need help. We got to steer her in the right direction. Female, first female, black. So that all roads are leading to the mayor appointing and anointing, handpicking a police chief before the January 1st ordinance goes into effect, where the voters have spoken and they want the city council approving the mayor's appointees. The mayor still gets to select the appointees, but like in most cities and municipalities around the country, like right next door in Jefferson Parish, the Jefferson Parish president picks his or her appointees for the city government, and the council votes to approve them or not. Just an extra safeguard. You don't get the Cedric Grant appointed, anointed hacks. You get folks like Ghassan Corban. City council would have approved that. If the mayor makes a righteous choice, why does she care if the city council has to approve it or not? If the mayor made a Ghassan Corban choice that was righteous, that was the best available nationwide search, and the council didn't approve it, the council would catch a lot of grief from the citizenry. Hopefully. Watchdogs like me. I'd be on them. No, all roads lead to the mayor appointing and anointing Jeanette Williams as the next chief and bypassing best practices, going nationwide, bypassing what the community wants. Boy, some fantastic weather lately. This is painting weather. It's like summer out there, but cool enough where you can work, hot enough where that paint's going to go on there perfectly and dry quickly. Helm Paint and Decorating. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, it truly is a no-brainer. Native New Orleanians, official New Orleanians know. Do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. The Helm family for over 50 years. 7 locations. Free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans. Benjamin Moore, the inventors of color paint, lifetime paint. You'll never, ever paint again. And pennies on the dollar compared to those so-called coating companies. I got news for you. The coating companies aren't revolutionary. It's elastomeric paint. It's been around for decades. No one paints every year. It's sort of a scam to me. You want to know what these so-called coating companies really are? The world's most expensive home painting companies. Want to get ripped off? Go with those guys, in my opinion. Total ripoff. Want to do it for pennies on the dollar and do it right and never, ever paint again? It's a clear choice. Helm Paint and Decorating. A no-brainer. Corey Johnson with you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top Benjamin exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's Dr. Richard Metier.
For over 20 years, we've successfully treated patients with substance abuse issues and have also had success with patients suffering from chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We uniquely address restorative issues at the cellular level that impact mental health. We treat our patients with an intravenous nutritional supplement that helps restore various brain functions. Most of our patients have greatly reduced withdrawal symptoms. We work toward maximizing nutritional interventions while utilizing traditional medication interventions when needed. Our treatment works toward restoring the brain's health while returning the patient to a normal, dependent-free life.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now. 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Yeah, you, right? Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Broadcasting live like we do every day on radio, on television, on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We do it from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. If you need air conditioning or heat help, River City's Total Maintenance is there. They've been in South Louisiana for 40 plus years. Sterling reputation. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. That's River City's Total Maintenance. Find them at NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. The NOLA Coalition, that's made up of black, white, Republican, Democrat, entrenched political types, folks that are newbies that just want to see New Orleans thrive, all different types. Hundreds of folks are part of the NOLA Coalition. It's about all different groups. It's sort of proving that left and right can get along. There are common goals. There are common themes that are universally accepted. It isn't a liberal thing or a conservative thing. Everybody's for it. Fighting crime's one of them. The NOLA Coalition joins the city council, obviously, but the NOLA Coalition represents the New Orleans citizens and sadly had to be formed because the mayor and council don't do a good enough job of representing the New Orleans citizenry. If the council and the mayor did their job, there'd be no NOLA Coalition. So the coalition has come about, and they think it is critical that Mayor Cantrell conducts a nationwide search for this NOPD chief. And hopefully the fix isn't in, and the mayor can get so hell-bent and belligerent. And I mean, check out her State of the City. You'll check that out. Check out Twitter. Check it out on local news tonight. It's just nauseating, in denial, belligerent, kind of like trying to sell you on what she's done instead of just, hey, this is what I've done. You know, I don't sit there and go, I've done radio for 30 years. I'm not like, I've done radio for 30 years. That's just a fact. Done television and radio, 30 years, talk radio, editorials on TV. I'm not mad and trying to pound the table and sell you on it. It's just how it is. She's trying to sell you on what she's done as mayor, and that Macron came here because of her, and just so many other things, just delusional. And then brings in a bunch of her people, and they're all applauding and clapping during this. It's a joke. And then isn't allowing the media, like a dictator, like it's North Korea or something, not allowing the media to ask questions because they're going to ask about, are you going to appoint or anoint someone? Or are you going to do a national search for the police chief? Now, all signs point to the mayor appointing or anointing someone, bypassing the wishes of the public, bypassing the wishes of the NOLA coalition, the council. She could care less about that. No, she wants to put in Jeanette Williams, apparently the deputy chief, black female as chief, hire from within. I mean, I mentioned this, the Louisiana State Police, because it's Louisiana and it's backwards ass. They only can hire a superintendent from within. They have to hire from within their own ranks. That's just so Louisiana. Don't go with the best and brightest, scour the country, go with, only within the state troopers. And the argument would be, we don't have the best and brightest. There's not someone within all the state troopers that can do the job. I'm sure there is. But a nationwide search, you get the best and brightest guaranteed. If it's the local guy, great. If not, great, got the best. No, it limits the number instead of tens of thousands of candidates, hundreds, thousands of candidates. It limits to however many state troopers there are. And then you can whittle that down to just this, like maybe 5-10% of all state troopers would be eligible in reality for that gig. So the pool is just narrowed down for no reason. The NOPD, the city of New Orleans, this mayor, they're not pigeonholed. They're not tied down to that nonsense. They can scour the country. What's the mayor want to do? Like the backwards, what state troopers are forced to do, hire from within. No, but the thing is, this mayor will do it. This is a mayor that goes on these junkets and tries to justify them. Goes and has, dinner at fine dining restaurants and tries to justify it. Stays at the City Pontalba apartment for free and tries to justify it. So why would you think the mayor all of a sudden is going to, hey, do the right thing? This is too important. There's too many people telling me what to do. And it's the right thing. It's go national and hire the best and brightest. The mayor is belligerent. The mayor is contrary. The mayor hears folks saying go do a national search. She'll do the opposite. No, and if the mayor has fixated in her little head that I want to put Jeanette Williams in as chief, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. A lot of folks like the mayor's stupid. That's where you get off target, where you focus on reality. Don't come up with these extreme things. And it's wrong. It's incorrect. The mayor's not stupid. But the mayor's not that smart. And the mayor's not, someone who's special, that stands out, that is a leader, that is a, kind of a intellect. The mayor is not the opposite. She's not dumb or not smart. But the mayor is painfully average. She's just a regular person, just painfully average. And Mayor New Orleans requires someone special to handle that job, to do it effectively and to do it right. And ideally, someone with all those traits and integrity, ethics, and morals. And the mayor lacks all of that. I'm not trying to bust on the mayor's chops, just reality. Ethics, morals, integrity, not her strong suit. And being a leader and doing the right thing and having the skill set and the wherewithal to handle the gig, doesn't have it. Just how it is. Like the sheriff, Susan Hudson, learning on the job, just doesn't have the talent, the skill set, the wherewithal to do that gig. Ed Ogeron, head coach at LSU football, doesn't have the wherewithal, the skills, the talent to handle a gig that big. I'm not sure, like LaToya Cantrell can manage a Walgreens effectively. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's not an easy job. Easy to have a Walgreens run ineffectively. We've been in ones that suck, and we've been in ones that are smoothly operated. Now, all signs are leading to the mayor anointing someone as new police chief. I mean, just Sean Ferguson retiring right now before the end of the year. Wait till the end of the year. Wait till you get 25 years in instead of 24. You get full benefits. Why would you, all these cops, I could retire now. I'm waiting till the 25th year. I'm 25 years in. They all do this. City employees, civil service. I mean, rare that folks retire early. The chief's so close. But he says health and, family and different personal reasons. I respect the chief, so I'll buy that. But the timing seems odd. It can't be ignored, especially with this ordinance that the New Orleans citizens voted for, where the council approves the mayor's appointees. That doesn't go into effect until January 1st. No, the timing's a little awkward. That jumps out. And then the mayor, like I said, her press release on Ferguson, nothing mentioning now we focus on our next chief. We'll do a national search and bring in the best of the best. Nothing about that. All just on Ferguson. Nothing about the next chief. None of it. Then you have Travers Mackle, investigative reporter, showing up at one of these substations where Deputy Superintendent Jeanette Williams pulls in. And he's calling her Jeanette. He obviously knows her by her first name. And he wasn't saying, Jeanette. The camera's rolling regardless because they're smart. We don't know what we're going to get. But when Fudge's like, hey, Travers, I should say, hey, Jeanette, do you have a minute? She would stop and go, okay, let's do this. And then they would shoot in, and that's what you'd see. Not him calling her Jeanette. Jeanette ignores Travers. Ignores him and just walks in. They know each other, and she's ignoring him. She's sort of rattled. Why would you be rattled if you're not going to be anointed the next chief, or that's being mentioned as a possibility, a probability? So that wasn't good to see. Then the mayor today with her state of the city, not allowing the media to ask questions, that wasn't good. Then Fausto Picardo signed to a 1-year extension to assist the next chief. If the next chief is a nationwide search, he wants to run his own show. She wants to run her own show. Doesn't want Fausto Picardo in there for another year, guiding, helping, assisting. Don't need that. Don't want that. I'm the head coach. We're running things my way. So many things are adding up to the mayor appointing and anointing Jeanette Williams. Plus, the media outlets, so many sources. It's Jeanette Williams. It's Jeanette Williams. But boy, you have the council, obviously, because they want to make the approval, but the NOLA coalition stressing that the mayor used best practices, community is spoken. It's critical, they say, that the mayor does a nationwide search for the next NOPD chief. But we're talking about Mayor LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell. Has her own mindset. Hey, if you're on the causeway right now, why don't you call Trey Yen and get a big to-go order? You pull right in front, they walk it right out to you. It's tough to beat. And Trey Yen, as you know, North Shore folks, it's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine, a level or two up from what you're used to. You South Shore folks, 25 short minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center to the front door of Trey Yen in Mandeville. Critically acclaimed, nationally recognized, Trey Yen in Mandeville tonight for dinner.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you, wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, 5 o'clock powwow. Fausto's opened up at 5. They'll go till 9 p.m. tonight. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. Outdoor dining at Fausto's Italian Bistro. You can check out your favorite sports action like the Pels tonight in action on the TV at the bar. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. You know, I was mentioning carpal tunnel syndrome, watching LSU in the SEC title game against Georgia, Tulane in the AAC American Athletic Championship game against Central Florida. You know, going back and forth because both games kicked off at 3 o'clock back on Saturday. Well, Monday, January 2nd at 12 noon, both the Cotton Bowl and the Citrus Bowl get underway.
LSU and Tulane will be playing at the exact same time in their bowl games. Pretty cool. I love the Tulane USC matchup. I really do. Tulane 16th ranked. USC is ranked 10th. They're both 11-2. The point spread says it all. It just verifies what I've been thinking. When I saw that point spread today, I'm like, this makes so much sense. Tulane's fired up about going to the Cotton Bowl. First major bowl since 1940. They are excited. They're 11-2. They're conference champs. They had to win games down the stretch against Cincinnati, a top 25 bowl-bound team, against Central Florida that had defeated them a few weeks later. They earned it. So they're going to the Cotton Bowl. They're fired up. They're 11-2. They're 16th ranked. USC loses to Utah in overtime in the Pac-10 championship game. It costs them a playoff spot. So they beat Utah in overtime. They're in the playoffs. So they're 12-1. They're in the playoffs, Pac-10 champs. Instead, they're out the playoffs. So they're bummed out. They're disappointed. Now you've got talk of multiple players not playing in the bowl game. They're going to the Cotton Bowl instead of the playoff. Like, they're bummed about going to Dallas in the Cotton Bowl. They're not excited about the game. Then their opponent is Tulane. Tulane, what kind of football program is that? They're thinking. Tulane was 2-10. They're going to find that out last year. 2-10, biggest turnaround in college football. They're going to be like, there's just nothing for USC to focus on, to be fired up about. And the Green Wave's going to be very fired up. It clearly shows why the spread is USC by 2. And that sucker bet is USC if you're a gambler. Tulane is the pick. Tulane is the pick. When I saw that the Saints and Tampa Bay, the over-under was 40.5, I was like, the sucker bet's the over. This is the under is the pick. And the under hits. It was like it yelled. Tulane is yelling. LSU isn't yelling as much. Now, you could go, LSU's not excited about their bowl. They were thinking about something. LSU lost the big bowl when they lost to A&M, not the Georgia game. Not the Georgia game. They played Georgia like they did 50-30. They're going to a major bowl. LSU's going to a major bowl. Instead, they get relegated down to Orlando in the Citrus Bowl because they lost to A&M, not Georgia. So that was a week before. LSU would have liked to have been, in a bigger bowl, even the playoff, dare I say, with an upset of Georgia. I think they realized, okay, that's not going to happen. The talent gap with Georgia was too large. But we did pretty good putting 30 on the board against the nation's best D. But this is different than USC because LSU did it a week before losing to A&M. Coach Kelly's saying, you play Purdue like you play A&M, you lose. And then it's about 10 wins with the first year of the program, getting to double-digit wins and ending a 2-game losing streak, getting that sour taste out of their mouths. Plus, Purdue's 8-5. They slipped into the Big 12 championship game. They got beat by Michigan. LSU's favored by like 8.5, just where you'd expect the spread to be, more than a touchdown. I don't like the game as a gambler. I think Purdue's going to show up and play. And LSU will too, though, because 10 wins is at stake. Anyway, Corey Johnson with you on a Wednesday. Yeah, you right. Oh, by the way, Dennis Allen's not getting fired by the Saints. You can forget about that. Not getting fired. More injuries this year on this Saints team than maybe any Saints team in history, including last year's team. Where weren't they injured? Both starting wide receivers, both starting cornerbacks, 3 offensive linemen at certain times of the year, 3 of your 5 offensive linemen, your starting quarterback that you were committed to in training camp, and he was your starter at the beginning of the year. So, starting quarterback, both wide receivers, both cornerbacks, 3 of your 5 offensive linemen. Come on. There's just, it's impossible to overcome that. So Dennis Allen's going nowhere. All right, that's that. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning, that's that. Dale and Don taking care of me for decades now. A New Orleans institution. They've been at it since 1940. 82 plus years in business. And it's funny, I started talking about them when they were about 60 years in business. I'm not kidding you. I don't know if there's another talk radio personality in the history of the medium in this city that's talked about a particular business longer than I have, since the late 90s. For over 20 years, going on like 25 years. Most of my radio and television career talking about Young's Dry Cleaning. Find out about the best, this New Orleans institution, youngsdrycleaning.com. You don't like your dry cleaner? Experience the best, youngsdrycleaning.com. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program. Where's Blue Boy when you need him? There he is. Hey, buddy. What? You're excited about we're past the midway point and the weekend's coming up. That means more walks, more petting, more loving. I hear you. What else, buddy? Will I go to Lebanon's Cafe tonight because they're open till 9:30 and get you lamb chops? And a fried football kibby. Wow, Blue Boy. High maintenance, buddy. Mañana, New Orleans. See you tomorrow at 4 o'clock, 93.9 FM, New Orleans.